And so this afternoon, we have Jesus Nieto, who is the coordinator and the professor in charge of the Farm Tech program at Santa Rosa Junior College. Jesus, thank you for taking the time and being with us this afternoon. Can you tell us, it's my understanding that the Farm Tech program has not existed at JC in a few years. Are you starting all over again with this program?
That is correct. So I'm trying to bring it back up, and we're starting with the introduction course in the spring, and then we'll have it in the summer. And essentially, it's a 3-semester program. It'll continue in the fall, and they'll finish the next spring. And then it'll start all over in the summer, and then it'll be the summer, fall, and spring. And so it hasn't been active for 3-4 years. And there is a growing demand, and that's why we're bringing it back. And right now, I am anticipating roughly about 30 students, at least minimum right now, based on our enrollment. And essentially, it'll be the first cohort.
That you're coming back. Okay. And then,
Yes.
so the idea is you're going to start with this one, and this cohort is going to be spring, summer, fall. And then from there, you're going to start future cohorts in the summer. And it's a program that ends in the spring in that way. And so, one of the things that I'm sure people who are listening to this are wondering, how much money can I make in this program?
Yeah, so it varies. So it starts roughly from $18, and then with experience, it can go up to $40, and then depending possibly annual raises. And then if you get into a specialty, for example, in inpatient or hospital, they pay a little bit more just because of the type of work that you do. So it can go up. I've heard of colleagues making up to like $50 an hour, but they've been here for years. So it's not bad. It's essentially a 1-year career. I did forget to mention in Spanish earlier that it's going to be taught in the evenings, so that way people can work during the day if they have to. I'm anticipating roughly like a 6 p.m. start time, and then it'll give them time to do externships as well.
Okay. And then the other piece that sometimes people are like, I'm not very social, so I don't want to be at the front of the pharmacy dealing with all of the clients. Are there other positions that you can do in that environment with this certificate that don't necessarily put you in contact with people all the time?
Yeah, there is. So you can do, for example, you can get hired as a billing specialist, for example, and you'll be working in an office. If you don't want to interact with people face to face, you might still have to interact on the phone. Sometimes some of the infusion pharmacies. So I worked in chemotherapy for a little bit briefly, and you're pretty much just isolated. You're just making orders. You get to listen to music and work at your pace and do that. You can also be a supplier. You can also, if you don't want to, maybe you like talking to people, but you don't want face to face, you can be communicating, calling them, asking them if they're taking their medication, if you can get their refills ready. So there is other options, not just face to face. And now because of COVID, pharmacy technicians can actually give out vaccinations or follow-up shots, as an example. So it's something new, it's evolving. So one of the new things before I left the field was actually monitoring test levels and asking them, based on the pharmacist's criteria, if we should have them test again or wait. And so it's changing. It's exciting that it's evolving and that we have the program back here at the JC.
And then one of the other things that people may ask is, well, if I get this certificate, is it going to be valid in Nevada, or is it going to be valid in New York? Is it going to be valid somewhere else? Is it a state test that they have to take, or is there a national one?
So what happens is once you finish this program in particular, I mean, other programs are a little different, but our program, you finish the program, you get an affidavit that we sign off, and that you send it to the state. You clear your background. They might do a drug test for your employment. But then with that, it gives you the option to take the national test. And this national test, it's getting recognized by more states every year because they're trying to streamline that as well. So for example, I did look into Texas because I thought about moving over there. They want you to do like one more course, for example, and then you would be able to work as a tech over there. So it does vary from state to state, but it does increase your options of being able to transfer. And then also remote work is something new.
Definitely. And then there are some businesses that maybe have an office here and they may have an office in a different part of the state. So it might be easy for you to just transfer from the pharmacy that you're working in Sonoma County, maybe to a pharmacy in LA or San Rafael or some other place?
Yes, so it would be a straight transfer. So as long as you have your state license, the only thing is you have to renew it every 2 years. For the state license, all you do is just pay, and they just check your background, make sure, like if you have a DUI, it'll get reported eventually. But as long as you don't do anything too crazy, you should be okay.
Yeah, and the other piece here is
Yeah.
how old do I have to be? There are some students who
Yes.
are in high school today and they say, you know what, I don't want to go to college for 10 years. I heard that this, that, and the other. I want a career that is short, and then 1 year I can go to work. How old do people have to be, and what preparation do they have to have?
Yeah, so the requirements are a GED or high school diploma, and then when you submit your paperwork to get the state license, you have to be 18 years of age.
Could
And
you get
so
started with the classes ahead of time?
you could, I mean, the JC has their own like math and English, but I believe if you're just taking the certificate, you kind of jump the hoop, and it does benefit you being good with math. I'm not saying you have to know like calculus and algebra, but basic addition, fractions, ratios, things like that. Nothing too crazy. And then part of the program is that we prepare you to take the national test on top of learning everything that you need to know for your job.
Okay, so for people who are interested in doing that as well, you definitely provide that preparation, which makes people more employable whenever they are looking for
Yes.
work afterwards. All right, and then the last question here is, if somebody's interested, maybe in getting started in the summer, let's say we may have a couple of people here from high school who are, listening to this information, and they say, you know what, that's the career I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Since you are the coordinator and you are the professor at the same time, is there a place that people can reach out to you?
Yeah. So I'm going to provide my email. It's a J and then NIETO at santarosa.edu. And then I'm also hoping that I can get the website up and running by the end of this month. That's my goal. I'm just a little all over the place, and I'm waiting for PR to update new pictures, but my goal is to get everything up by this month. And then again, my email is JNIETO at santarosa.edu.
And again, we've been talking today with Jesus Nieto, who is the coordinator and the professor who's teaching the Farm Tech program starting in January at Santa Rosa Junior College. For anybody who's interested, please email him if you have any questions. Open enrollment is already happening. Let's say the class gets full and you're still hoping to get a space in there. Reach out, J for Jesus, NIETO at santarosa.edu. JNIETO at santarosa.edu. And with that, Jesus, I want to thank you for taking the time, and hopefully you can come back in the middle of the spring so that then we can promote the one that you're going to start in the summer.
Perfect. Thank you, Rafael. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you. Take care.